It bears repeating, this is the worst offensive team in the Big Ten in this regular season that averaged 64 points a game. They just broke the Big Ten tournament record with 99 in this game. We talked so much about the first half, but what did you see in the second half with their offense?
Well, what I saw in the second half is what started in the first half. Because Ohio State was so effective from the three-point line, they opened up the floodgates. Penn State had to go to player, which is what Ohio State is usually tough against because of their dribble drive offense. They were able to attack in the paint and get easy scores. And here you see Amorous Dawson just driving in the middle with the beautiful scoop shot lay-in, and multiple players were getting in on the mix. This is a beautiful feed inside to Doris Moore and a finish against the bigs of Penn State. You think they would have had a little more efficiency defensively, but they didn't. And then Kate Kraft stepping up huge in this game. Her season high, or career high, excuse me, against a Big Ten opponent. She was huge in this game. And I think that first half just started the momentum for them. And when you can play player to player for Ohio State and attack off the dribble, they're pretty deadly, and they proved it today.
Well, and that's the thing, that second half ability to drive was set up by their first half three-pointers. Again, this is a team that's 10th best in the Big Ten at shooting threes, and yet they hit 10 three-pointers in the first half. They didn't even hit any in the second half. What were they doing so well from deep in that first 20 minutes?
Well, I think it was one of those, you talk about things being contagious. I mean, it's flu season, but for the Buckeyes, it's scoring season. It was just contagious. As you just heard Kate Kraft say, you know, when one player got going, they just felt it. And I think for Ohio State, it was more about, hey, I mean, they were just as shocked, I think, that they were hitting those shots. But then Penn State, you could see they got punched in the mouth a little bit by that. They were taken aback. I think they started to play frustrated, and they tried to make up that huge deficit all at once, and they just couldn't get anything going, and there was absolutely no defense. And that's been a couple times late in the season that Penn State has been shocked and stunned by great three-point shooting. We saw it when they went into Nebraska. We saw it here today by Ohio State. Penn State's going to have to regroup from the defensive standpoint going into the NCAA tournament.
And you mentioned Kate Kraft. This isn't a first or second team All-Big Ten player. This isn't an honorable mention All-Big Ten player. And in the Big Ten tournament, she just dropped 24 points thanks to 4 three-pointers all in the first half, 6 assists on top of it. She had the game of her life.
She really did. And I think for Ohio State, having 5 players in double figures, this is a team that has rested its hat on their defense. Coach Kevin McGuff is very adamant that his team plays defense. Now they have flipped the switch on the offensive side of the game. They're doing a phenomenal job scoring. They are now the complete package. I think if Ohio State can continue to shoot like this and play off this confidence, the beauty of it is they're the underdog. They're not playing with any pressure, and today they proved it. You could see it in their faces. They were loose. Everything was clicking for them.
And everything is clicking for Amorous Dawson. I mean, this is a dangerous weapon for the rest of the Big Ten to worry about. 4 of her last 6 games, she's scored 30 or more, including back-to-back in this Big Ten tourney.
Yeah, I love that kid. I mean, Amorous Dawson is a player that at the beginning of the year had to take on a huge role for this team with the absence of Taylor Hill, who was miss everything for Ohio State last year. Amorous Dawson has had to do everything for Ohio State, and she herself admitted that was an uncomfortable territory for her at the beginning of the season. She has morphed into a phenomenal player. She's a floor leader. She's obviously a scoring leader, and she just does not get rattled. And I think her team tonight especially fed off of that. She does a tremendous job of leading her team, and you can tell that she's playing with confidence. She now expects that role, and she accepts that role, even more importantly.
One final topic on Ohio State. Let me just read off to you the numbers of points that the victorious teams in the Big Ten tourney thus far have scored. 81 for Iowa, 82 for Michigan, 74 for Minnesota, 86 for Ohio State, 99 for Ohio State. Usually these tournament games are much tighter. There's more nerves. It's a different arena. It's a different setting. Why are we seeing offense so high thus far?
Well, I think we've seen that all season long in the Big Ten. I mean, we've got some of the best scoring teams not just, I mean, across the country. And I think teams are, obviously the way the game's being called now, you've seen more opportunities come at the free throw line. There's a little bit more freedom to move. But I think it's just tournament time. There's something about it. It's a magical time of year. I think teams go in and they realize everyone is 0-0. It's anybody's ball game, and it's been this way all season long in the Big Ten. It's been so much fun to watch, and I think they're just playing comfortably. And I believe truly that every team in this tournament believes they can win it.